What's up, everyone? The stock market tanked down again today. In this video, we're going to explain what's going on in the market right now and the important things to know. Looking at the heat map so far today, as we can see, most stocks were in the red, and that was mainly led by the energy stocks. We can see ExxonMobil was down almost 4%, Chevron down 2.5%. Oxy down over 4%. So that definitely, it had a dent in the market overall today. And then it also didn't help that a lot of these market moving tech stocks like Amazon, Apple, NVDA, and Microsoft also tanked down.
Yeah, it really did. And like you said, the tech stocks were actually pretty bad there today. I even saw Tesla was down 2.5%, another bad one. Like you can see on the heat map, there were very few sectors that even had any green mixed in. It was kind of cool to see Bank of America go positive along with JP Morgan, but nonetheless, the movement intraday was pretty negative. Like you said, the SPY fell down. We ended up breaking below that key support of $400 today in the middle of the day, ran down to lows of 396 and then popped back up to around 400 again. So I'm curious to see, Mike, if we're going to hit off of $400 tomorrow and start to fall back down, or if we're going to start to consolidate here and possibly break back up above 400. I'm kind of leaning that we're going to continue to hit off of this and move down. But I will say we did kind of start to form a nice support down here at the end of the day around 397. So we'll have to see what happens. But nonetheless, the market has been really selling off. There was a couple sectors that did well today, Mike. I did notice that FSLY ended up popping up a little bit today. And then also CCJ and UUUU kept popping up, which is awesome for us.
Good to see. So, Tom, I'm going to be honest with you. Looking at the market right now and the SPY specifically, over the past 2 weeks, I've been relatively bearish. Nothing too crazy, but relatively bearish, mainly because these stocks were just too overbought to the upside in the short term. Now we're getting to the point where the stock market is not extremely overbought and it's not extremely oversold either. So it's like I'm at a point where I'm looking at the SPY and I'm more neutral than anything else. Do I think the SPY is at an amazing level to buy the dip? No, I wouldn't call it like a 10 out of 10 setup. And at the same time, I don't think it's like an amazing opportunity for, a short position right now either. But I just wanted to share that because the SPY is normalizing and, it's good to see this because I feel like over the past year, the market has either been at one extreme or the other.
Yeah, it really has, Mike. And I'm glad to kind of see it get back down into this middle range as well. And I'm curious to see how the market's going to end up moving here. I honestly would not be surprised if maybe we stay between a range of like 393 and maybe like that high up there around 408. I would not be surprised of that. I know there's a big support intraday, like I said, around 396. So I'm going to watch that for tomorrow. If we break below that, we might have to look for more downwards movement, maybe towards like 393 or 392. But like you said, it's just getting into that middle range. And I'm kind of liking this, Mike. And whenever I look at some of these bigger tech stocks like NVIDIA, AMD, and stocks like that, some of them like AMD are almost back down to those lows of July. So it's actually opening up some of these opportunities that people might have thought they missed before. So this is actually pretty good. I'm glad to see them down. And I'm definitely going to be waiting with my finger on the trigger, Mike, for some of these bigger tech stocks. Like I said, NVIDIA is one of the big ones I'm eyeing up. Of course, I'm going to wait for Microsoft and Apple to keep falling down too. Like actually, Microsoft over the past couple of weeks is down quite a bit as well.
All righty. Well, Tom, speaking of tech stocks, Snapchat has had one wild ride over the past year. It has highs of over $83 a share, and right now it's trading for $10 per share. Some interesting news came out today. What's going on?
Yeah, unfortunately, they are cutting 20% of their workforce, guys. And I know a lot of companies have been coming out and doing this recently, so it's not overly surprising for Snapchat, but they are going to be laying off about 20% of their staff. An article came out by The Verge today that said that they have 6,400 employees. We went ahead and did the math. That's going to be around 1,280 employees if they did lay off 20%. What is kind of bad is that they said that these layoffs are going to start happening on Wednesday. So that actually comes as pretty quick news, I guess, to anyone working there. So it's definitely going to be a pretty big thing for Snap. Their stock is down in after hours today, Mike. It's not necessarily down a ton right now, but I will say watch it for the next few days. We're sitting right around $10 a share, and I would not be surprised if it started moving a little bit lower.
Gotcha. And then I also know over the past couple weeks we've seen or just heard about Elon Musk's Starlink in the news more and more. I know he has some pretty decent sized deals with T-Mobile and Royal Caribbean in the works. So what's going on?
Yeah, I figured we'd mention these today. So, like you said, Royal Caribbean had some great news today regarding Starlink, where they're going to be using Starlink to pretty much give Wi-Fi signal on their cruise ships. It's going to obviously, as we know, if you've ever taken a cruise or anything, the Wi-Fi on there can be a little bit shaky sometimes, especially when you get obviously in the areas out in the middle of the ocean where there isn't a lot of signal and you might not be able to pick up those satellites, or the cruise's Wi-Fi won't be able to pick up those satellites quite as well. So this is going to be very helpful that they're going to be partnering with Starlink. It's actually the first of their kind to kind of do a deal with Starlink like this. It says it will begin immediately. So this sounds like a good deal, Mike. And then, like you said, there was also something going on with T-Mobile here, which is great for Starlink. So Starlink and T-Mobile are also going to be working together to try to increase connectivity to pretty much anywhere that connectivity is maybe lesser right now, or where they don't have connectivity, kind of like in rural areas or very mountainous places like that where it's hard to get signal. They're pretty much saying that with Starlink, they might be able to get coverage across the whole US.
Yeah, so I think that's a pretty big news article for T-Mobile. You know, if you can cover basically all of the land in the US, where even if the connection isn't the quickest, as long as you can get connection out there, that's going to be pretty big. And that's what it looks like is what's happening between T-Mobile and Starlink. So that's good news there. Honestly, T-Mobile stock, TMUS, did not really move too much off of the news. And then RCL or Royal Caribbean didn't really move too much either. While looking at these cruise lines, I will say this. I do a lot of analysis every single day with like options order flow and what the whales are doing and a bunch of stuff like that. And over the past couple weeks, I've been seeing a lot of bullish activity on just the cruise lines in general for like the next year or so. So I think that's a good sign. Looking at RCL, it's not at a bad level in my opinion. It's pretty low. It's a risky play without a doubt, but you know the risk reward ratio is not looking bad right now. RCL is right around $41 a share, and you know just a couple years ago they were well over $100 a share. They actually got all the way up to like 135.
Yeah, that was pretty big when they dropped on COVID. I know obviously these reopening plays like cruise lines, airlines, and different sectors like that got hit a little bit worse. So that is probably why they are a little bit lower, but it is at a good level, like you said, Mike. I like how they're posting lower highs right here on the chart. Anywhere on CCL or RCL, if you get them anywhere under 45, I feel like that's a pretty decent price just looking at the chart alone. And even with some of these other airlines, Mike, like AAL, DAL, and stocks like that, they are also getting close to some of those better levels. But like you said, those cruise lines have been pretty good. And I know that their guidance recently has actually been pretty good for the second half of this year. So hopefully they keep reporting good numbers. I know it looks like CCL reports here at the end of September. So can't wait for that one. But I know the cruise lines are pretty big, Mike. And I know that the Starlink stuff isn't going to be necessarily groundbreaking for RCL, but I feel like that will be something that might at least help them out over the next few months. And I think this will help out Starlink more than anything because now they might get even more orders from other companies.
Yeah, we will see. Tom, before we move on, can you update us on just earnings for the rest of the week?
Yeah, so like we said tonight, we had a couple big earnings like CrowdStrike, ChargePoint, Chewy, and HP, which we've kind of been waiting for. Tonight was the bigger night this week. For the rest of the week, there isn't really too much or two other big of stocks, I guess. Tomorrow and after hours, we do have AI reporting, so that'll be pretty big, along with Five Below. Then Thursday before open, we have Campbell's and Hormel Foods. I know those two stocks generally do okay during inflationary times, so I can't wait to see what they do. Then Lulu after hours tomorrow, but nothing too crazy. Honestly, tonight, Mike, was pretty big with CrowdStrike, ChargePoint, Chewy, and HP. I will say I looked a little bit into ChargePoint's earnings, and they actually did pretty well. They popped up a little bit, and some of these numbers here are pretty good. They grew their revenue 93% year over year, and they posted their first $100 million quarter. So sounds pretty good, but as we know, the market might kind of drag them down here.
True that. All right, well, with that being said, let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. With the first one, we have LOGI to the upside.
Logitech, here we go. Go ahead and make them break above $51 tomorrow.
All right, with the next one, we have UPWK, also to the upside.
Upwork, yeah, I like this end of day recovery here. Make them break 1740.
And with the last one, we have NVDA to the downside.
NVIDIA, yeah, go ahead and make them break down below, just below that low of day there, right around 151.77.
All right, we are watching NVIDIA for a potential day trade to the downside tomorrow, only if it breaks below the level Tom listed. And then we are watching UPWK and LOGI for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, only if they break above the level Tom listed. Before we move on, I want to give a giant shout out to today's member of the day, and that is Sunshine and Happiness from the YouTube comments. So thank you so much for the very supportive comments you are leaving in the videos. Tom and I really appreciate you. So thank you so much for the support. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. But Tom, do you have any favorite setups or anything you are watching for tomorrow?
Yeah, Mike, there's actually a lot of stocks today that obviously were falling off. Some were back up in the green. I will say some of my favorite stocks today were some of these oil plays to the downside. I know yesterday I talked about some of these oil plays possibly popping up, and they really gapped down this morning. Obviously, it was a no play once they gapped down here. I will say they started falling down into some interesting territory. Like ZOM had a terrible day, Mike, ended up down 3.81% on that one. Oxy itself ended up down on the day. Let's see it pop up here, 4.32%. If we see like Oxy, for example, fall below $71 tomorrow, I'll definitely be looking at it back to the downside. And I know that obviously Warren Buffett and a lot of other people have been playing oil to the upside, but looking at it on these daily charts, it is getting overextended. And, you know, today was a pretty big pullback. So I'll definitely be watching this one, Mike, for a possible move down, and definitely be ready in Discord tomorrow because this will probably be one of the free day trades.
All right, there we go. And then before we move on, we definitely have to highlight the bot play from today. Our options bot called out the Amazon 128 strike puts at $229 today, and they popped all the way up to $290 within like 20 minutes or so. So if you're looking for any sort of short-term trades, the first link in the description and the comments down below is definitely the link for you. On Friday, the Amazon play went from $260 to almost $500 each. If you're looking for short-term trades, definitely check out that first link in the description and comments down below. We have a coupon running. You can cancel at any time, and our bot's awesome. It is definitely worth trying out, even if it's only for a month. We have day trades, swing trades, and a bunch of other custom bots, and you can chat with Tom and myself all day long. Definitely check it out. Besides that, I'm very excited for the market for the rest of the week. It's at a good level. It's nice to see the market finally start to normalize, and you know, we're starting to see some decent moves in multiple different industries. You know, we have tech stocks coming down, and we have uranium stocks and a couple other industries really starting to pop up. So I think we're going to end the week strong. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new.